If I go exceed your expectations, please refer me 3 clients. I invest my marketing dollars into the relationship. You could do things together as you start building your team. They could come in with absolutely no money and come away with a home.
My screen, I'm going to introduce myself just in case if some of you don't know me. My name is Jeffrey DeJesus. I'm a local San Francisco Bay Area agent. Been doing this for over 2 decades. Born and raised in the Bay Area. Been selling real estate quite a bit, consistently over the years, which is I'm very proud of that I could stay consistent in what I do. And how I did that, like I mentioned earlier, is laying the right foundation, and that is really the key. So I'm going to get right into this. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Becoming the market expert, turning data into listings. So important, okay? I want everyone, if you're a top producer, you can get those little nooks and crannies that you could improve your business, because even myself at 20 years of experience, I like to take whatever I can, and all these, all the information I get, whether it's from the brokerage I'm with, a broker I meet, a cup of coffee with a mentor, an associate, I like to grab something that is positive. Okay, there's always something positive that I could get out of a conversation. All right, why market expertise wins listings? Well, consumers don't hire agents who knows the most. They hire the agent who explains the market the best. Okay, that's really important. If you can explain the market the best, you don't have to make it complex. Okay, you see some stuff online on YouTube, and they're explaining all these things. If you could convey your message very simply, that is the best. Okay. So market experts, they build trust, they answer questions with confidence, justify pricing, and they win more listings. So knowledge really builds credibility. And there's a lot of ways to convey this, especially with social media and what's going out, what's going on with the tools, video, email, text, many ways to convey your message. So the numbers every agent should know. Well, here are 6 metrics that I want to share with you. Medium sales price. So what is that? That is, if it says 900,000, then how many homes sold above 900,000? How many homes sold below 900,000? So then you would get the medium price sales price, and it definitely changes month to month depending on the market. Okay, so super important. Days on market. Well, that's important, right? I mean, you all know that when you see a house that's been on a market for more than, let's say, 30 days, especially here in the San Francisco Bay Area, that's an indicator like, oh, maybe maybe we could get this at a below market price. Months of inventory, active listings, pending sales, list to sales price ratio. This is super important because you're an expert, so you need to convey these numbers accurately and demonstrate yourself that you know your numbers, because this is how sellers hire their agent. So turn that data into conversation. So instead of saying the market is slowing, you could just say inventory is up by 18%, giving buyers more choices. That's why strategic pricing is more important than ever. I'm going to have this conversation today with one of my sellers. I have a house that's for listing out here. It's further out from the Bay Area. It's in Grass Valley. It was a referral, and I took it. I have a country office out here, and I'm going to have that conversation today because the inventory is going up in that city. Pricing like a professional. Pricing is backed by evidence, not opinion. So use comparable pricing. This is like super important. Like when you're out at a listing appointment, you gotta and you're competing for this listing, and it's a battle, right? Because there's some agents out there presenting to the seller like, I could sell your house for this much. and the data doesn't show it, but they say it, trying to get the listing and landing the listing because of course the seller is going to want the highest, and then your data is not showing it. So you have to be able to win that listing, win that seller over by giving them the right data. And if you have the right data, you'll be able to win the listing, regardless of what that listing agent is presenting. Even they're giving up a number that's astronomically off, but it rings the bells of the seller because so sellers always want to hear their house is worth much more. So, buyers demand, local market trends. You got to know, these numbers, and you got to be able to have these conversations. Become the local market expert. Super important, right? Know your market better than anyone else. Review the MLS reports. I mean, if you're on the MLS daily, it's good to know your inventory because you could talk about it. Because if something nice comes up, you can always call a client or somebody in the neighborhood. Hey, I seen this new listing. Maybe you know somebody who would be interested in this. I'll send it over. Watch pending and sold homes. This is a really good indicator of what's going on in your market. Monitor price reductions. So your market knowledge should be more current than Zillow's. Okay, so you should just know your stuff. Turn market data into content. This is super important, right? I mean, if you're the type of person to use social media or you want to, I mean, this is it, right? I mean, this era right now of communicating and conveying a message it's all out there. You got AI, you got the data at your fingertips. Anything you need to know, it's right there. Now you just got to convey it in your own way to your audience. And it could be friends and family, associates, coworkers. So, yes. So here's some ideas on content. Market update. Always good to have a market update for your friends and family. Did you know statistics, neighborhood spotlight, buyer and seller tips? Those are always nice to see. I mean, if you do walkthroughs on properties, and view properties, take a real quick shot, even if it's a selfie. Okay, you don't need to be with anybody. You don't need to be professional. Just take take a 5-second clip of your showing her some properties. Monthly market recaps. It's always nice to see. Teach consistently and build authority. So the listing appointment advantage. Okay, during every listing presentation, explain current market conditions, show local trends, support your pricing recommendation, set realistic expectation. People really want people want to trust their agent and educate and not sell. Okay, I mean, it's really about education and not selling all the time. Having a combination is nice, just as long as you know your numbers. Weekly success plan. Well, spend 30 minutes each week reviewing market statistics, study new listings, record a 2-minute market update video, share one market insight on social media, practice explaining a market in simple language. That's, if you convey your message very simply, then that's really, that's what you want to do. Because once you get into complicated words and long-winded videos, and you're just trying to convey one thing, try to keep it simple. And if you keep it simple, then it's easier to regularly record consistently. Okay. Some of the key takeaways today: learn your numbers, explain what they mean, make sure you know what they mean, educate instead of selling. You could do both, but just educate, know your stuff, and then selling will come naturally because now you're educated, you know what you're talking about. And for those of you who just are good with people, you could still really crush it in real estate. I mean, I think in the beginning of my career, I mean, I just knew a lot of people, and my goal was always know more people. And even though my education of real estate wasn't there, my goal was just to meet more people. I went with the numbers. And as my business grew, And by selling, I started selling more. I started educating more. So, but today, of course, I'm super educated on markets, mortgages, flips, development, etc. But in the beginning, I just had to meet a lot of people and I educated myself as I went along. Confidence comes from preparation. I eat and sleep real estate. I love it. I mean, it's just all I do. I enjoy it. It's part of fun. I mean, I travel the world and I'm just on my phone. I could sell, buy, list homes from my phone. I could buy and sell and do deals from my phone. So I could be sitting anywhere, be anywhere around the world and do real estate. And that's the lovely thing about real estate. I mean, at least that's how I train my clients and what I look for as far as a real estate agent. You know, I just been doing it for so long and I hesitate because my business is a little bit different from most real estate agents, but that's how I design my business. 90% of my business is listings. I've been doing listings, mainly listings since 2009. So you can see it's been a long time. So I've really been focused on listings. So I've been training my clients to work with me. But before 2009, I was all into buyers and working with buyers because that's where the biggest pool of real estate deals is in the buyer side. And so anyways, we could always talk about that next time. I have a lot of video on my testimony. So anyways, with that being said, I hope that was quick. It was helpful. I hope you got some notes. It's always good to start off your Monday, after the open houses with the right mindset. Mindset's super important in our business. I mean, people get hung over on like, the house is 2 million, the house is 3 million. No, the customer is still the same. The customer just is looking for someone they could trust. So just learn how to get your prospect, learn how to have those conversations with those prospects, know your numbers, know what you're talking about. And if you are not as experienced, a lot of information online. And before you have a conversation, do 5 minutes of homework on the conversation you're going to have, and you'll be fine. And if you ever have questions, just reach out to me, and I have plenty of information online. So until next time, thank you so much for coming on. I'll see you next week.